Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Gravit episode number 3. Let's Gravit is a series where I showcase the creation of vector art using Gravit Designer, a free, cross-platform, and fully featured vector design application. I will include a link to their website below for more information. Today the subject will be cats. Please feel free to pause the video as needed in order to follow along, and be sure to ask any questions you may have in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and let's get started. Let's begin by creating an Instagram post from the template on the homepage. Then press E for ellipse, and let's drag out a nice big oval on the center of the screen. Right about there. And I want you to make sure it's centered on the canvas. Now, we want to convert it to a path, so hit Ctrl-Shift-P or right-click and choose Convert to Path. But I would recommend learning the shortcut. Once you have that done, I want you to hit D and then choose the bottom point on the oval. If you hold Shift, you can see how it constrains. Drag it straight up just slightly, just a little bit, to give it off-center just a little. Then for the color, we want to choose a purple. I'm going to go near kind of a bluish purple. I don't want like too bright. I'm going to go right about there, I think. Look good. Now move that down a little. Then I want you to go up and choose the triangle tool. Using Shift, constrain a triangle right about that shape. We're going to choose the same color as the head. And move it roughly where the ear would be and give it a little bit of a rotation. This is going to be kind of open to interpretation to you on where do you want to place the ear on the head. So as you can see, I kind of mess around with this a little to get the placement right. Once you have it where you think you want it, we're going to round the corners just a little bit, maybe to about 12 or so. Not too much. Then I want you to press Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V on the triangle. And then holding Shift and Alt, I want you to drag the triangle toward the center. And what this will do is it will resize toward the center of the triangle, constraining the shape. We're going to take this shape and we want to give it a pink fill. But again, you can go with any color that suits you. I'm going to do a purple and pink cat for my daughter. I'll go right about there somewhere. And you can see this takes a little while to get the color right. I'm going to input a couple settings for a pink that I happen to like, but you can use really any colors you want here. You don't have to use purple and pink. Now that that's done, I think select both shapes and then send them to the back with Ctrl-Shift down. And select the entire ear. Hit Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V to copy and paste, flip it horizontally, and drag it over holding Shift to constrain it. Then select both ears, and then drag them until they snap to the center of the head. So now you can see we have the ear shape. But I feel like that center triangle needs to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to drag it down just a bit more with Shift and Alt. Which means I need to get rid of that ear, recopy this ear, copy and paste it, flip it, and hold Shift to move it back over. Yeah, looking good. But then I think I want them down just a little bit. But again, this is all really up to you in terms of how you want to do it. Now we're going to do the eyes. Hit E to choose a lips and draw out a perfect circle holding the Shift key while you drag. Once you have that, just leave it right there, and we're going to do a yellow. And I'm going to search around and see if there's a color that suits me. If not, I have a couple numbers in mind that I may use. No. I think I will manually enter them. Yeah. There we go. Alright, so now that we have that shape, I want to choose it, hit Ctrl-C, Ctrl-V to copy and paste it, and we're gonna, undo that with Ctrl-Z, choose the eye, holding Shift, drag it down and constrain the shape, then move it to the center of the eye roughly. Then we want to take it, and I want to change it to like a dark blue. Not quite black, but a dark blue. Right about there is good. Now take the entire eye, Control-C, Control-V, copy it over using Shift to constrain it, and then select them both and center them on the head. Now take the head, copy it with Control-C, Control-V, and then holding Shift to constrain, drag it way down to a smaller shape right about there. And then give it the same fill as the eye, the center of the eye, for a nose. Then choose E to draw an ellipse, hold Shift to draw a perfect circle, and draw it right under the nose, and give it that pink fill color. Now we're going to move the nose up with Control-Shift up. Then take that shape under the nose, copy it with Control-C, Control-V to copy and paste, and then drag it over holding Shift. And then we want that sort of shape. Select both shapes, and then drag them to center them on the head under the nose. We're then going to take this one, copy it with Control-C, Control-V, hold Shift to drag it down, and then what we want to do is move it down to the center of these two shapes at the bottom. Hit Control-X to cut it, and then select the head shape, hit Control-V to paste it. There we go, looking pretty cute. Now, hit P for the path tool, and we're going to do the same thing we did in the dog video. I want you to click a point and drag it to create an arch. Using Alt, click that point to cut the line. Drag down, create an angle, cut the line again with Alt. Drag an angle, use Alt to cut the line, and then drag it down, and then close the shape. Very good. Now go over and select the border, hit delete, and then take the fill, and let's give it the same purple fill as the head. Now we're going to drag it over, rotate it a little bit. Yeah. Move it down. I think I'd make it a little bit bigger. Let's increase the size a little bit. There we go. And then rotate it a little more. And this you really just got to kind of get to where you want it. I want it down a little. There, I like that. Now, copy it with Control-C, Control-V, down to the bottom. And we're going to rotate it. And then holding Shift, we're going to reduce the size and constrain it. Put it right about there. And then copy it with Control-C, Control-V. Flip it horizontally and move over to the other side of the head. Very good. Then select both and center them on the head. Let them snap. Nice. We'll leave them there for now. We may move them later. We don't know yet. But for now, it looks cute. Now we'll select the entire head, hold Shift, and reduce the size, and then snap it to the center of the canvas. The eyes look a little big, so I'm going to select them both, hold Shift to constrain them, and then recenter them on the head. That's a little better. We're going to go ahead and save it. I have a Let's Gravit folder created in the Gravit cloud. That's where I save all my files at. We'll save it as cat. I feel like the head's still a bit too big. I'm going to select the entire head, hold Shift, and reduce it again and center it to the canvas. Then we're going to hit R for a rectangle, and we're going to draw out a body under the head. Right about there. I want to round the corner all the way in. We're going to center it, and then I want to send it to the back with Control-Shift down, and then move it up a little bit, not too much. We're going to give it the same color as the head, and then I want you to click on that color purple and drag it down just a little bit. We want to create a little bit of color separation. We're then going to take the body, copy it with Control-C, Control-V. We're going to hold Shift, and we're going to drag it down to reduce that shape, and we're going to center it on the body. Right about there. Yeah. Now, we want to give it the same color fill as the pink, and then again, we're going to drag it down just a little bit to give a little bit of color separation. Very good. And that just kind of looks like a patch of fur on the chest. Now, I want the body a little slimmer, so I'm holding Alt, I'm going to click and drag in, and this drags both sides at the same time. Otherwise, you'll drag one at a time. Select the entire cat, reduce the size just a little bit, and recenter it on the canvas. The nose, I want it just a little bigger, so we're going to bring it right about there and then drop it back in. Good, yeah, I like that. Now we're going to hit R, and we're going to draw a rectangle on the front of the body, right there, and round the corners completely in. And I want to drag it down. We're going to create front arms. I want to give it the same color fill as the purple of the body, the dark purple. And then take it and drag the color up slightly. Now we're going to copy it with Control C, Control V, move it over. I think the body needs to be a little thinner. So I'm going to bring it in holding Alt again, and then we're going to move the arms over and let them snap to the edges. Yeah, I like that. And we're going to take one of the arms, we're going to copy it with Control C, Control V, move it over, and we're going to drag it way down without holding Shift. We do not want to constrain it. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see what I'm doing. And if you hold the Control button down and use the mouse wheel, it will zoom you in and out. And then you can pan the canvas by holding spacebar and dragging the mouse around. I want to take that little shape, center it right on the arm. Then I want to copy it with Control C, Control V, move one to the left, one to the right. Now we'll select all three, and I want to center them on that arm, and then drag them down just a little bit, right about, I'd say there. Now select those three shapes, select the arm, and then go up and choose Subtract. This is going to cut them from the arm. Now we're going to delete the other arm, we're going to copy this arm over with Control C, Control V, and drop it in place. There we go. So we now have our two front arms. Good. You'll notice I save a lot with Control S. That's just a habit for me. Now we're going to press E, and holding Shift down, we're going to draw out a perfect circle. And then we're going to give it the same color as the darkness of the body, and then we're going to drag it down just a little bit to give it a little bit darker tone. And then hit Control Shift down to send it to the back. Then we want to move it over right about there. Copy it with Control C, Control V, and move it over to the other side. Then select both shapes and drag them until they center on the body, and you'll feel them snap into place. And there we go, that looks pretty good. Now, press R to choose rectangle, and then we want to draw out a rectangle right about here. Go up, drag the corners all the way down, and then give it the same color as the darkness of that back body. And we're going to drag it down right about there. We're trying to create a back leg, so choose it, press Control X, choose the ellipse, and press Control V to paste it in front of it. Then drag it up just a little bit, right about there I'd say. Then we want to change the color. We want it to be slightly lighter, but not much. And you can see how we're creating multiple tiers of colors there. Now take that shape, copy and paste it with Control C, Control V, and then drag it down to reduce the size. A little too small, drag it up a bit. Now, drag it right about there. And you can see that kind of looks like a back leg sitting there. Now I want you to drag out a box around both shapes, and then hit Control C, Control V to copy, and then flip horizontally. Then holding Shift, I want you to drag that shape to the other side. Drag a box around all those shapes, hit Control X, choose that ellipse, and hit Control V. Now you can see it pasted in front of them. Good. Now what do we have left? Tail, whiskers, right around there. Okay. We're going to go back to the Path tool. So now we hit P. Now for this, the way I want to do this is we're going to click a point. We're going to go over, click, and we're going to drag down to move a path up. Now what I want you to do here is once you drag it down, if you hold Shift, you'll see it's going to constrain that line to a straight angle. I want you to hold Shift so it constrains straight down. There you go. It's a nice little perfect arch. Click Alt and then click on that point to cut the line. Then come down in the body right there. Click, drag that out holding Shift again, and try to create a straight line between those 2 points in the center. You can see right there. Then holding Alt, click that point again. Then hit V on the keyboard. There you go. You can see we have a nice little path here. Come over to the stroke, and let's give it a stroke of about, I'd say, 18? A little bit bigger. Let's try maybe 24. Yeah, I like that. Maybe 26? Okay, yeah, good enough. Okay, so now we're going to choose the tail, go to Advanced Stroke Settings, and we're going to choose, under the ends, we want to choose Round. That way it rounds the end, and you can see right there. Very good. Now choose the tail. The next thing we want to do is we want to convert this from a stroke or a path into an actual shape. And we do this by going up to Modify, Path, and Vectorize Border. And what this does is it turns it into a solid shape rather than a path. Give it the same color as the face, and then send it to the back with Control-Shift down. And then I'm going to move it up right about there. Very cool. We're going to select the entire cat. We're going to hold Shift and we're going to constrain it and we're going to resize it. Alright, I think that's a little too big. Do the same thing, select it all, hold Shift, constrain, and then resize. Alright, and do this until you're satisfied. I do this a lot because it helps me kind of figure out the size of what I want in my drawing, but works for you. Now we're going to choose P and we're going to do something different here. On the end of the tail, actually, I'm going to zoom in so you can see this. I want you to click a point and then click in the tail like this, and then give it a couple jagged lines like so. Oop. Actually, we want to come out of the tail on that point. There you go, like that. And then close the shape. And I know this looks weird, but trust me. Come over and choose the border, delete it, take the fill. Oh, we got to zoom out, hold on a second. Select the shape, zoom out a little bit, holding down the control and the mouse wheel. Now give it that pink infill. Take the shape, and we are going to cut it with Control X. And then we're going to choose the tail, and we're going to go up to Edit, Paste Inside Selection. And you can see that it basically pasted that shape inside the tail shape, so it gives it kind of a fluff at the end. What's cool is you can go in and double click that shape with the mouse pointer, and you can move it around. You can continue to manipulate it. So you can move this around anywhere you want, really, on the end of the tail. Very nice. So I think now we're probably going to do some whiskers. Well, no, I think the eyes are a bit too big. Let's select that pupil, reduce the size. We'll select that one and reduce it, and move it to the center. Or not quite center, but center of the eye and then down some. Yeah, that looks better. Save it again, Control S. And I would get in the habit of hitting Control S. It helps. Now hit P to choose the path tool. And the way we're going to do this is we're going to click a point, we're going to hold Shift to make a straight line. We're going to click, we're going to let go of Shift, and then we're going to drag an arch like so. And let go, and then we're going to hit V on the keyboard. Good. Now, I want you to come over here and give it a stroke of maybe 5? Too big. Let's try 4. Okay, yeah. Go to the advanced stroke settings, give it a round end again. Nice. And then we're going to give it the same dark color as the pupils and the nose. So there you go. Very nice. So then I want to, yeah, okay, that'll work. Let's select that. We're going to hit Control C, Control V, and then we're going to drag it down holding Shift to keep it in line. And then we're going to rotate it slightly. And then drag it down just a little more. I'd say right about there. Then we'll repeat that process. Hit Control C, Control V, drag it down, rotate it, and drag it down. Nice. So we have 3 little whiskers now. Select all 3 using Shift, and then you can move them around on the face. Then I want you to hit Control C, Control V to copy and paste them, flip them horizontally, and then holding Shift, move them to the other side of the mouth. Then come back holding Shift and click on the other one. This will select all 3. And then center them on the head. There you go. Very nice. Cool. So that's looking pretty cool. Now I don't like how they bleed into the edge of the face there. I want to make them slightly bigger. So hold down Shift and select them all. Then we're going to make them a little bit bigger, holding Shift to constrain, and then we're going to center them on the head again and let them snap in there. Very nice. Now I think we need to move the hair. So let's move this one up right about there. We'll rotate it slightly. Good. Let's go delete this one. We're going to take this one, copy it with Control... Whoop. Didn't mean to do that. Copy it with Control C, Control V, flip it horizontally. Using Shift, drag it to the other side of the head. Then select both holding Shift and center them on the head. Very nice. Alright, that's looking pretty good. Cat's coming together. So now, press E to choose the lips, drag out a circle at the bottom, or an oval rather, give it the dark fill of the eye, set the opacity to 20%, and send it to the back with Control Shift down. And then just center it on the cat. There you go. Now I want to give the background a color, so I'm going to come up and choose the fill on the page tab, and then give it a light purple. I'd say somewhere in there. But it's really up to you. I just try to make the colors blend well. And there you go. I'm pretty happy with that cat, and that should complete this drawing. Thank you for joining me in this lesson. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, or comment. If you have a request or something you would like to see me draw, please leave it in the comments below. Also, if you would like to support the creation of these videos and earn other additional rewards, please check the video description for my Patreon information. Always remember that anyone can be creative, just believe in yourself and work hard. Thank you and have an amazing day.